Hey everybody, this is Joe Gilder from HomeStudioCorner.com. We're up to number 8 in our 12 Home Studio Necessities series, and we're talking today about acoustic treatment. Okay, if you've walked into a professional recording studio, you've seen one of the first things you notice is how they've got cool treatment on the walls. Maybe the entire wall is some sort of a treatment, or they've got those cool diffuser panels on the back, or who knows what they have. If you walk into a home studio like mine, you'll usually see stuff like some RLX foam on the walls. Or if you're like me, you've got these custom panels. If you look over here, this is basically just a wood frame with fiberglass insulation inside covered with a cloth. And then I've got the same thing hanging up there and also on my side walls, okay? And then I'm going to do more in the bigger part of the room. That's for another video. I'll promise I'll talk to you about all of that. However, when you're first starting out recording, you don't even think about acoustic treatment. You don't even know what it's for, much less that you need it for your recordings, okay? So let me cover a couple of quick things. First off, acoustic treatment is not for making your room soundproof. A lot of people make that mistake. They think, okay, I need to make my room soundproof so the sound doesn't travel out into the next room or to my neighbors. You know, I'm in an apartment and my neighbor won't hear the music if I put foam on the walls. Not the case at all. Completely not true. So just get that out of your brain. What acoustic treatment does, it's simply a tool that you use to minimize the amount of sound that's bouncing around your room. If you walk into a room with all, drywall, with nothing on the walls, and you clap your hands, you're going to hear that sound bouncing around the room, right? Well, that bouncing around the room is going to get picked up by your microphone when you're recording. Now, it may not be something that you even notice. Perhaps you've been recording that way as long as you've been recording and you've never noticed the sound of your room before. That's understandable. Why would you notice something that's always there? If it's always there, then you don't notice that it's there and maybe you could get rid of it. Go to my website, HomeStudioCorner.com, and do a search for RLX, A-U-R-A-L-E-X, specifically RLX Ruminator. Now, I did a review of the RLX Ruminator's kit, which has some acoustic foam, some bass traps, I think that was it. And I did a before and after recording of a vocal in the room before I treated it and then after I treated it. Go listen to that. The first vocal doesn't sound bad, but when you listen to the second vocal and how much tighter it sounds and how much less room is in the recording, it starts to click and you realize, oh, if I want good sounding, professional sounding, tight sounding recordings, I can't continue to record in this room without any sort of acoustic treatment. Okay? So, what acoustic treatment you get is up to you. If you can't afford to buy things like RLX or have custom panels made, it's not that much money, but I understand if that's just not in the budget for you, then get things like blankets or try to make something yourself. Just find a way to get some deadening up around your microphone. It could be as simple as a couple of mic stands with some blankets draped over the top. That can potentially make a big difference in the sound of the recordings. Now, I don't have time to get into this more, but on the backside, obviously it's helpful for recording, right? But on the backside, when you're mixing, it's just as helpful, if not more, to have your room acoustically treated. Because when those sounds bounce around the room, while you're sitting there trying to mix, trying to listen to your speakers, all the sound bouncing around the room is also entering your ears and is making what you hear less accurate, okay? Your room acts like an EQ that's changing the sound that's coming out of your speakers. So by adding things like bass traps and mid-frequency absorbers, for example, like I have here, my room sounds much more natural and I'm hearing more of the speakers and less of the room, and that helps me get a better, more accurate mix. So I could go on for hours and hours about the importance of acoustic treatment. I actually have a product that I created with my buddy Gavin Haverstick called Understanding Your Room. If you want some serious in-depth training, several hours of that, that's available to you over at understandingyourroom.com. Otherwise, think through the ways that you can add in acoustic treatment of some sort to your room, and I think your recordings will be much better off because of it.